Hey everyone, welcome to the Restorative Reading and Writing for Wellness podcast. I'm Stephanie, a book-loving, notebook-hoarding reader and writer on a mission to change lives one book and one notebook at a time. On this podcast, we explore the power of books and notebooks as tools for wellness. Reading and writing can help us feel better and make life better too, and I'll show you how I do it. You'll find episodes exploring the research behind reading and writing for wellness, practical strategies to embrace your own restorative reading and writing, and you'll meet authors and special guests who help us take inspired actions in our own daily practices too. So grab a notebook and your TBR list and let's dive into today's episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Restorative Reading and Writing for Wellness. I'm Stephanie, and as promised, I'm back with part 2 of my 2-part series on how to decide exactly what your reading and writing life needs next. Now, last week, we talked all about reading. I shared with you a very simple tool and walked you through it step by step on the podcast, where I gave you a bunch of statements. You answered yes, sometimes, or no. And based on your responses, you chose one area of your reading life that you could lean into in this present season: your reading habits, your reading heart, or your reading communities. From there, I gave you 9 suggestions each on exactly how you could do that. Well, this week, we are tackling writing, and more specifically, we're tackling journaling and notebooking and knowing exactly what we need in that aspect of our writing life next. Now, spoiler alert, if you went into the show notes last week and you clicked on the PDF download that gave you the exact self-assessment that I gave you on the air, if you kept scrolling, you would find that I have the exact same parallel self-reflection for writing. So if you want to lean into your writing life this year and you want to decide if you need to focus on your writing habits, your writing heart, or your writing community, then I've already got your back, and you can already go to last week's episode, click on that PDF, scroll, and decide exactly what you need. But today, we're really going to dive in specifically to what our reading, I'm sorry, that was last week, to what our writing hearts need next. And I mean our journaling hearts, our notebooking hearts, right? Not the kind of writing that you might think about where you're going to show it to someone or you're going to try to publish your writing. This is the personal kind of writing. This is the restorative writing, restorative journaling, restorative notebooking. And how do you know what to write when you show up to the page? How do you know which kind of writing to focus on? How do you know what prompt to respond to? How do you know how to get started and how to keep going? That's what we're going to focus on today with what I would say is an even simpler tool that will help you decide in this moment exactly what you should do the next time you crack open your notebook. Now, before we get to that quick assessment, though, I want to give a quick overview of my 8 different kinds of restorative writing. Yes, I said 8. Once upon a time, I said 6, then I said 7, and now, because of the continual research I do, I'm saying 8. Now, this restorative writing framework, it's all mine. Basically, to come up with it, I have been canvassing any and all research that I can find on how and why writing, journaling, notebooking, you insert the word you like to use, how it is good for our health and how it can make life better. And as I dive into the research, I find that different researchers, different professional publications focus on different kinds of writing and how they can make you feel better or make life better. And so my framework attempts to give some sort of practical structure to all of this research that I am reading so that when you show up to your notebook, you know exactly what to do to feel better or make life better without having any decision fatigue. So that's why my framework keeps growing. It's because I'm growing, I'm learning, the research is growing and learning. And so today, to start, let me very quickly review the now 8 categories of restorative writing according to Stephanie Affinito. Okay, The first kind of restorative writing is productive writing. This is the kind of writing that helps us unload, right? Decompress, get things out of our head that are all jumbled up there, that are making us stress and making us not do what we want to do, right? That is productive writing. You need to get some organization and some clarity and some plans on the page. That is productive writing. Now, reflective writing is when you want to ease in to a little bit more of a personal writing practice. You want to start to make sense of things. You want to think about how you actually feel on the inside and what you actually want and what whispers or nudges you're receiving. That's being reflective on your inner world. Now, expressive writing, this is the one that is near and dear to my heart. This is a very particular kind of restorative writing where you are writing to calm and regulate your nervous system. You are writing to let your feelings out, your emotions out, to decompress the emotional reservoir that might be overflowing in your body, causing all sorts of havoc emotionally and physically. Now, this is the kind of writing that I just got certified in. So if you want to dive into expressive writing more, just reach out and I can tell you more about the coaching work that I now do. Category 4 is responsive writing, right? You need to respond and react to something, something you read, something you heard, something you scrolled, something you experienced. You need to write to make sense of that. Even if you can't respond in person, or even if you could, you just need to make sense of it on the page. That's responsive writing. Commemorative writing. This is the writing where we remember, we honor, we celebrate, we document, we think back. It's commemorative. It's hanging on to something, usually the good. This is my beloved 5-year journal in action right there. The next category is creative writing. Now, yes, this could be writing a creative story, like something fictional, but it's also just allowing yourself to explore on the page, to try new things, try new formats, try new writing utensils, to just play around, layer some creativity on the page, like washi tape or watercolor. That's getting creative. The next category is affirmative writing. This is the kind of writing that helps us affirm what is good, what is true, what we want to bring more of into our life. These are things like affirmations and affirmation journals and gratitude writing. And now, finally, my eighth newest category that I feel deserves a place in this framework is connective writing. Yes, I have followed the IVE format because your girl here is a very much a type A personality. Connective writing is the writing that literally helps us connect with someone or something beyond ourselves, right? So it's sending notes, it's sending letters, it's writing messages, it's texting, it's emails, it's any kind of writing that connects with others. But doing it in the notebook doesn't necessarily mean that you have to send it either. Just connecting with the energy of that thing or that person or that experience is enough. I'm going to end up doing a deeper dive on connective writing in the future, but for now, think of it as writing that helps you connect with someone or something beyond yourself. So those are the 8 kinds of writing. So it's really no wonder that when we open up our notebook and decide that we want to make journaling or notebooking a larger part of our lives, that we can open up, we can look at that blank page and think, what do I write? Right? Just like we can think, what do I read next? Well, we could choose the latest favorite. We could just close our eyes and pick something on Goodreads. Or we could pick something that we're intentionally looking for to help make us feel better and make life better. The same thing can apply to writing. You could just go to social media and look up what other people are journaling about. You could ask ChatGPT or go on Google and say, what's good to journal about right now? Or you could take a minute and check in with yourself and decide what you feel like right now and what you might want on the page to feel better and make life better. And that's the quiz. A little quiz. It's a two-question quiz, really. Two-question decision tree is what I'm calling it to help you decide what to write about right now. No more journaling decision fatigue, no more notebooking decision fatigue. We are here to show up to the page and get to the page as quickly as possible, and this is going to help. So, what do? You start with a very simple question, right? You get your notebook, you get your writing utensil, you light your candle, you take a deep breath, you settle in, and you ask, what feels most present right now? What feels most present right now? So basically, how are you feeling? Like, like really, how are you feeling on the inside? And I'll be honest with you, I've spent a lot of time creating this decision tree. And I've scrapped a lot of versions of this decision tree because there really are so many possibilities. So the one that I'm arriving in your podcast platform with today is just one version. I could probably create more versions of this in the future, but I settled on this one because of this starting question. What feels most present right now? And then I give you four choices to choose from, right? Because if you just named your own emotion, my decision tree to give you would need to be hundreds of emotions long. Have you seen that emotion wheel that floats around the internet? So I'm asking you to decide what feels most present right now from these four particular feelings. And then based on what you answer, that's going to give you question two, which is going to tell you exactly what to write on the page. So here are those four feelings. What feels most present right now? A, I feel overwhelmed or scattered. B, I feel emotionally full or tender. C, I feel disconnected or isolated or stuck. And D, I feel pretty steady and I'm curious. I want to explore. So those are four very different feelings that we could show up with, right? That means there are four very different things that we could write on the page in order to lean in to that present feeling, honor it, acknowledge it, and then move it to wherever we want it to go. So let's go feeling by feeling. And then I'm going to give you the second question that you need to ask after you have asked yourself, what feels most present right now? Okay, so what feels most present right now? Let's say you think you are feeling overwhelmed or scattered right now. Okay, we all know that feeling well. I feel overwhelmed. I feel scattered. I feel all over the place. I don't know what's going on. I want you to ask yourself this second question. Do you need some clarity in your life? Or do you need a release? What is that overwhelm and scattered feeling? Where is it coming from? You probably know this answer pretty quickly. Do you need clarity to figure out how to get less organized and less scattered and what comes next? Or do you just need to release? Do you need to vent? Do you need to figure it out that way? If you feel like you need clarity and an order or a next right step for yourself, then productive writing is for you. Think lists, planning pages, brain dumps, organizational strategies. Productive writing is where you are going to want to lean into so that you can get that clarity you so desperately want and need to feel less overwhelmed, less scattered, and just cognitively unload what's in your brain and settle down. Now, on the flip side, you may be feeling overwhelmed and scattered, but maybe when I asked, do you need clarity or release? You're thinking, I need release. I need to slow down. I need to process what's going on in my life. I need to understand what's happening in my life. I'm not really sure what I want or what I want to do or the direction that I want to go. I need more think time. Then reflective writing is for you. This is the kind of writing where we go inward. We get really metacognitive, right? And we notice and we wonder and we try to make meaning based on what is going on in the swirls of our minds and our bodies. So those are the two kinds of writing that I recommend when you feel overwhelmed or scattered. If you need clarity, go to productive writing. And if you need release, go to reflective writing. And don't worry, I have a prompt for each kind of writing after I go through this whole framework so that you can decide which one you really, really want today. Okay, let's go back to that question. What feels most present right now? Let's say for you, you are feeling emotionally full, you're feeling tender, you're feeling all sorts of feels. I want you to ask yourself this question. Do you need to express that emotion, or do you need to respond to something that's going on in your life, making you feel emotionally full or tender? Okay, so if you are thinking, I need to just let my feelings out, I don't need to fix them, I can't fix them, I don't want anybody else to fix them, I just need to get them off of my heart and off of my body, then expressive writing, my friend, is for you. This is the kind of Dear Diary, secret, lock it up with a key, actually throw it away after you're done writing it, that reduces the load on your nervous system. This is raw writing. This is honest journaling. This is unfiltered. It is giving a voice to all the stuff that has been stuck in your mind and your heart and your body, and you need to let it out. You don't need to fix it. Your body can feel better just writing it on the page, even if nothing in your life changes. You just need to get it out. That is expressive writing. That is the kind, as I mentioned, I'm newly certified in a very particular kind of expressive writing called journal speak. I would love to share it with you. It has been life-changing for me. But if you're feeling emotionally full or tender, and I pose that second question, do you need to express that feeling or respond to something going on in your life? Then responsive writing, did you see that coming? Because responsive, that's for you. You need to respond to something in your world that made you feel that way. Maybe you read something that brought up all the feels. Maybe you watched a Hallmark movie, got all weepy, and it reminded you of things going on in your life. Maybe you had some sort of family tiff and you need to write about it. So you need to release it, just like someone doing expressive writing went, but it's very specific related to something that just happened to you. And so that responsive writing can look very different, right? It could be a letter to someone that you'll never send. It could be writing in the margins of your book. It could be lifting a quote from that book and then writing about the emotion it brought up on the page. It could be a conversation with yourself on the page. It could be a conversation with anybody or anything on the page, just allowing you to process that emotion so that you can feel better. Okay, what feels most present right now? If your response was, I'm feeling kind of disconnected, I'm feeling kind of isolated, my follow-up question to you is this: do you want to reach out or do you want to reach in? Okay, so when you're feeling disconnected or isolated, you can go two ways. You can do that outer work to feel connected and less lonely, or you can go inward to reconnect with something inside of you. So, if you want to reach outward, you want to connect with other people or something beyond yourself, you need to find your people, you need to get your community, then my newest category of restorative writing is for you: connective writing. This is writing a letter to someone that you will send. It is writing a little handmade card to someone that you will pop in the mail. It's sending a text message or a lovely little sticky note message to someone. It is some sort of writing that actually gets seen by someone else for the purpose of connecting. That is the writing that is for you if you are looking for connection outside of yourself. But we can find connection and less isolation inside our inner body as well, right? And we can just honor things from past, present, or future and connect with them on the page. That is commemorative writing. That's when you are writing down your memories, you are writing a tribute to someone or something, you're remembering childhood memories, you're remembering things from the past, you are honoring the good. That kind of writing, even if it was past, present, or future, but no one knows about it other than you, just writing it makes you feel more connected. And you certainly feel more connected with yourself, which then might make you help take that leap to feeling connected to others. So, our last category, what feels most present right now? Let's say you say, I'm I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling pretty steady right now. I'm curious of what's coming next. I'm curious of what my next move is and what next thing might happen. Right? I'm in a good place. I'm ready to think outside of the box. Okay? If that's you right now, first of all, I am so happy that that is you. I want you to ask yourself this follow-up question. In that state that you are in, do you want to create or do you want to affirm? Right? So, do you want to create and put something new out there, or do you want to affirm the good that's already in your life in an attempt to manifest more of it? So, if you want to create, then yes, you guessed it, creative writing is the restorative writing piece that I am recommending to you. So, you could write some fiction on the page, you could dabble in poetry, you could draw or sketch, right? You could try a new format, a new method, a new writing utensil. Layer on some creativity. Bring out the watercolors, bring out the paints, the colorful gel pens, put some glitter on the page, go for the washi tape, layer on ephemera and junk journaling squares. Get creative, create something. Even if the world doesn't see it, you see it, your notebook sees it. That's enough. Now, what if you wanted to affirm? You want to cultivate the good. You want to honor the good, acknowledge your curiosity so that you could send that energy out into the world to get more of it. Well, then affirmative writing is for you. You want to remind yourself what's true, what's good, what's supportive, what's wonderful. So for you on the page, you could start writing personal affirmations. You could start writing what some people call truth statements about all of the good in your life that has come to you. You could write yourself a permission slip to dive into this more creative, curious state of mind. You could get grateful and start to put some gratitude lists on the page. Now, remember, there's no right way to journal. There is no right way to notebook. There is no right way to write. That was a little hard to say, right? The only right thing to do is to show up to the page, put the writing utensil to the paper or whatever medium works for you, and just see what happens. This is a starting point. If this didn't feel good based on what you answered here today, then guess what? You get to change it. You could change it in the next 20 minutes. You could change it in the next day, the next week. Okay. But also remember, if you stay with one kind of writing, right? If you know that expressive writing is for you because you have chronic pain and you need to release all of the emotions around it, you could stay in expressive writing for months. That's okay too. This framework is not to box you into one category. It's not to force you to try all eight. It's simply an invitation to figure out which one might be for you right here, right now. But now, before we go, now that you have heard all of the different categories, right? You know which four feelings, you have those follow-up questions. Hopefully in your mind, you're thinking, I'm kind of leaning to this kind of writing today. I want to leave you with a prompt for each kind of restorative writing so that literally when this podcast episode is done, you can just show up to your notebook and you can get started. Okay? Okay. So here is a prompt if you know that leaning into productive writing is for you. Right now, what's asking to be named, listed, or gently organized in your life? I'll read it again. I'll read all of them twice. But don't worry, these will all be in the show notes. Right now, what's asking to be named, listed, or gently organized in your life? My sock drawer. That literally is the first thing that comes to mind. Okay. Reflective writing. I remember that. Reflective writing. That's you need to make sense of things. So a question for you to start with on the page is this. What do I notice about how this particular season is shaping me and the person that I am becoming? What do I notice about how this season is shaping me and the person that I am becoming? Responsive writing, right? This is where you need to respond to something going on in your life. This is a simple but powerful prompt. It's a close sentence in the education world. It is a fill in the blank. Here it is. As I respond to this blank, this moment, this conversation, this experience, this event, this pain, whatever it is, as I respond to this blank, I want to say dot, dot, dot. As I respond to this moment or fill in the blank, I want to say dot, 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 and just start writing. Creative writing. You want to put something out into the world and get creative. Here's your prompt. If I let myself write freely for a few minutes, what might appear? And this prompt at first might not sound creative, but you have to really pay attention to that freely. If I let myself write freely for a few minutes, what might appear? Writing, sketching, drawing, artistic elements, poetry, sentences, bullets, lists. Just let yourself be on the page and see what comes up. Now, expressive writing, my favorite writing. What am I feeling right now that needs a place to go? Let me say that again. What am I feeling right now that needs a place to go? You don't want it to settle into your body. You don't want it to cause a headache, a stomach ache, joint pain, whatever it is. You need to get it off of your body, out of your nervous system, and onto the page. What am I feeling right now that needs a place to go? Affirmative writing. Okay, this is where we are reminding ourselves of what is good and true and wonderful. Here's your prompt. Here is something I need to hear and can offer myself today. Right? So you are going to affirm yourself today. Here is something I need to hear and can offer myself today. Basically, you're writing yourself an affirmation and not waiting for anybody to give it to you. You're just giving it to yourself. And then finally, that eighth category, connective writing. Here's your prompt. Who or what do I want to feel closer to and why? Who or what do I want to feel closer to and why? Now, that might lead to actual connective writing where you send a letter, send a note, send an email, or not. And that's okay. You're still cultivating those connective connections. Okay. How are you feeling? What are you feeling right now? Oh, you know what though? I just realized I forgot commemorative writing. I forgot one category. We are not done yet. Commemorative writing. That's where you're honoring and remembering and really holding on to the good. Here now is the final prompt for you. I want to remember this fill in the blank, this person, this moment, this season by saying dot, dot, dot. I want to remember this person, this moment, this season, or whatever you want to fill in the blank with by saying dot, dot, dot. Now, there you have it. Those are the 8 prompts, each connected to a particular restorative reading format in my framework. And I hope that by listening to this, you know that there is no one right way to figure out what you need on the page next, but starting by thinking about how you feel, right? How you feel first. What feels most present right now? That can give you a clue to the kind of writing that is going to make you feel better, feel really good, and make life better too. So, I want to know which one is going to be the next kind of restorative writing that you put on your notebook. So, find me on social media at AfinitoLit. Send me a direct message, comment on the discussion post. You can head to the show notes for this episode at alitlife.com and leave me a comment there. As always, there is that wonderful audio button in your favorite podcast platform where you can leave me a quick message. But better yet, you can go online to my private Substack community and find a group of people who are already doing this wonderful kind of work, who are already reading and writing their way into different versions of themselves and their lives and are supporting each other as we do it. The link to that is in the show notes, but you can go to Substack and search for me or just head to getliterate.co and it will bring you right there. I hope you enjoyed this 2-part series. I hope you feel a bit of clarity into what both your reading and your journaling life need next. And I do hope you'll share what you discovered with me. Stay tuned for an episode in the next couple of weeks on the newest form of restorative writing so that we can take a deeper dive together. In the meantime, happy reading and writing. I'll see you in the next episode, everyone. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Restorative Reading and Writing for Wellness podcast. You'll find links to all of the books, resources, and ideas mentioned in the show notes and at alitlife.com. And if you want more, you might like to join my Get Literate Substack community. There, you'll find additional inspiration for your reading and writing life, like bonus podcast episodes, book calendars, monthly book clubs, notebooking inspiration, live events, giveaways, and much more. It's only $5 a month, and you get instant access to all of the previous content, too. You can learn more at getliterate.co. But there's one more thing. If you love what you listened to today, please take a moment to rate and review the podcast, or take a screenshot of the episode and text it to a friend. This helps the podcast grow and builds our bookish and no bookish community, too. Thanks for listening, everyone.